Hello everybody and welcome to this presentation. My name is Carlos Alvarez. I'm from Ecuador and currently I am a PhD student at Eötvös University in Hungary. I've been working as English as a foreign language teacher for more than 7 years, and I have the experience to work in primary, secondary and university levels, as well as in the International Baccalaureate program. This presentation is about improving writing through collaboration facilitated by Google Docs, and I'm going to share with you some experiences I have had by using this online platform with my students in my country. The last 4 years, I've been applying and obtaining benefits of using Google Docs to foster my students' writing and collaborative skills in the EFL classrooms. Okay, so let's start. This is the outline of my presentation. In the first place, I'm going to talk about Google Docs. I will provide a definition and some benefits that apply in this online platform provide to EFL teachers and students. In the second part, I will talk about how to use Google Docs. Here, I will illustrate how to create a Google Docs document, its main features, and how to share documents and comments with other people. In the third part, I will explain how to provide an authentic learning to our students by using Google Docs. Here, I will describe some benefits of applying Google Docs in EFL education. I will explain and provide real-life examples of how to use Google Docs to help students to increase their writing skills. Here, students has to perform projects or performance-based learning based on tangible products for a specific audience and with a well-defined criteria of what they have to present at the end of the task. Finally, I will explain how to create a collaborative learning experience and feedback by using Google Docs. Here, I will cover up some aspects related to collaboration, how students collaborate to share ideas, ask for help, brainstorm ideas, and provide feedback and comments to their classmates. Besides, I will point out how students use Google Docs for decision making to choose the best solutions and the best options for performing the authentic task they have to do at the end of the course or at the end of the class. Something that I will focus on as well is about the teacher presence during this performance task. To know how they plan their instructional design and organization, how they establish time parameters and requirements that the students have to take into account to accomplish the performance task or projects in an efficient way. And finally, how they monitor continuously their students' learning. In terms of Google Docs definition, Aurora 2019 explained that Google Docs is a free web-based word processor tool that allows users to share documents and collaborate on an online platform. Here, it's important to emphasize that Google Docs has been applied by teachers during the last years for academic purposes because it's friendly user platform. Also, regarding English as a foreign language context, there are various pieces of research that indicated that using Google Docs help students to increase their writing and collaborative skills. So according to that definition, it's important to mention that Google Docs provide different benefits for its users. First, Google Docs is accessible anywhere. It's essential to mention that Google Docs is not a program or a specific computer software. Actually, it is an online platform that we can even access through our smartphones. It's free and it's very easy to use. Google Docs provides to its users a real-time interaction. Through the use of Google Docs, people can work on a document at the same time from different locations. Also, it's flexible for multiple people interaction. And finally, it allows people to share and comment in real time. One important characteristic of Google Docs is that its documents are automatically saved. Google Docs is continuously saved to the cloud or to the drive each 15 seconds. So it means that you don't have to save the document because Google Docs will save it automatically. It also has a revision history tool. This tool helps you to see who made some changes and when they did some changes in the document. Finally, Google Docs provides the opportunity to users to download its files in different formats, even as a Word document. The fourth aspect is related to no more mails. Google Docs helps users to have their writing in only one place, to have better editing experiences by using different tools easily. And finally, because Google Docs is in real time, it lets users to save time sending documents and waiting to receive responses like traditional way by using emails. In English as a foreign language context, this online platform helps teachers to provide the students authentic activities to increase their collaborative skills and critical thinking. In terms of collaboration, Google Docs allow the students to work together in order to achieve different tasks in a collaborative way. Hence, students work in teams to solve problems or authentic tasks by reflecting best ways to solve these problems, sharing ideas respectfully, reflecting on learning, and working in a sequential and parallel collaboration. Moreover, Google Docs helps students to immerse in an authentic learning. Teachers, by planning backwards, can provide the students with the opportunity to perform real-life tasks. It happens by planning based on a final product or project that involves a different community audience, well-defined criteria, role-play, and real-life issues. For example, could be the creation of a magazine article that talks about touristic places to be visited by university students from different countries. Another aspect is the critical thinking. By providing this authentic task, students can increase not only their writing and collaborative skills, but their critical thinking skills. Thus, by performing this task on Google Docs, students can analyze, make decisions, evaluate, infer, and generate best solutions for the specific task. Finally, Google Docs also helps teachers to engage students in the learning process. When asking students to develop the performance task by using Google Docs, students improve their attitudes when doing the task. Also, by working in groups and assigning roles, students are actively engaged in the learning process by using this ICT tool in an interactive and collaborative way. Okay, so how to use Google Docs? Well, before starting this process, I would love to mention that this online platform is a service provided by Google. For that reason, it's necessary that make sure that your students and you have already a Gmail account. If you don't have or your students don't have a Gmail account, you can create it easily. Only you have to go to your browser. It could be Mozilla or it could be Google or Internet Explorer and type accounts.google.com. Then you click on create an account. You have to fill in the form with all the fields required, and finally you click on next step to activate your account. Okay, so I'm going to start explaining you how to create this Google Docs file. The first thing that you have to do is opening your browser, okay? You can choose between Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, or Google Chrome. Being honest, I prefer Google Chrome because it allows you to go directly to Google, and then here actually you can see that your Google account is opened, and here on the left part we have different Google applications that we can use for different purposes. Okay, we're going to work with Drive. The drive is very important for us because it's the place that all the documents that we write or do with our students and with our colleagues and everything, the whole documents that you want to save will be saved there. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, and here you have the Drive interface. Probably if it's your first time that you are using this drive, you won't see like quick access, but those are some actually some documents that I'm using now, so that's why I have this quick access. And we have some folders and files. The files, as you can see here, could be saved in as a Word document, PDF, and also here we have the Google Docs icon, and we have different other ways that we can save our documents. For example, here we have the Google Sheets that they looks like Excel documents, and here we have the Google Slides that they looks like PowerPoint. They have some features about it. We are going to focus, as I said, on this Google Docs document. So you will go to this part, we click on New, and here we have different options to create different documents, as you can see here. Okay, but we're going to go to Google Docs. This part we have two options. We have the options of creating a blank document, and the other one create a document with a template. Okay, I'm going to show you this part. Here, as I said, we have two options. Okay, so the first option is the blank document, and the other one is creating documents from templates. These templates will have a little bit of content and some styling done in them already, so they could be super helpful if you want to create some documents like resume or brochure or reports or project proposal, because here you actually have, you know, the content and how they have to be organized, so you can just go there and just edit according to your necessities. But as I said, we're going to continue with a blank document, so here we're going to give double click, and then we will have this Google Docs interface. In this Google Docs interface, as you can see, you can start like writing, but before doing that and before forgetting, one thing that you have to do is here in this part you have to write the title of this document. For example, how to create a Google Docs file or something like that. Okay, and the most important here is that you don't need to save this document. Actually, is already saved in the drive, so this is very important. So I hope you understand this first part, and we're going to continue with the next part in the next video. Now that we already have this beautiful and completely blank page, and also we already wrote the title for this document, it's time to show you some characteristics of Google Docs that Google Docs provide to teachers to apply in their classrooms. As Microsoft Word, Google Docs let teachers to create quizzes, handouts, assignments, worksheets, and other documents, while also it allowed the students to compose essays, reports, papers, or to develop the authentic writing activities that their teachers provide them. Even though Google Docs is similar to Microsoft Word, there are a couple of features that make Google Docs outstand from the traditional version. First, all documents, as I already mentioned, are created in this interface and are saved continuously. So you don't need a USB or a hard drive to save it. And also because it is saved in the cloud, so you can access everywhere as long as you have your Google account and internet. And the second aspect is that Google Doc has, as you can see here, a friendly user interface. Here you can observe that this part almost contains the same tools that Microsoft Word, but for the purpose of this presentation, I'm going to cover up some important features that Google Doc has, mostly for academic purposes. Here I'm going to paste first, as an example, I'm going to paste just a document. This document is about CLT. Okay, so I'm going to start with this file part. In this file we have share. This aspect we will talk in the next video, but I'm going to cover the other things. For example, here you can create a new document and we can make copies, and this is important because you can download this document in Google Docs. You can download in other formats. Okay, let's see, here is the same if you want to print and everything. Here if you want to edit the document, you know, it's almost the same as Microsoft Word. The view also full things like the same like Microsoft Word. And this and insert, you can insert images from your computer, from the web, drive photos by links, or actually from your camera. You have different options like you know, doing adding tables and drawing, and you have some special characters and everything. And this is very important because actually here you have the link. This link you can just put in this document that your students, while they are working on their probably their assignments or something like that, they can check the links that you already put. And this comment part is very important because you can add some comments to your students' assignments, or you can add comments of your work, your document. Okay, but these things we are going to cover up later. Regarding the format, is almost like the same as Microsoft Word. For example, I'm going to write a title here. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to highlight, and then I'm going to, here we have these parts, like you can center this, and then you can actually, if you want to bold it or use italics and changing the size and even putting colors. It's almost, as I said, it's almost like Microsoft Word. Okay, and you can change the font. So this is the format part. And here in tools, those are interesting things that I want to point out. The first thing is spelling and grammar. You can check your document, and actually the spelling grammar will tell you that, okay, this part probably you can change, and according to what you are writing, you can accept, or symbol you can ignore. Okay, but it's something nice because actually when your students are working, they can check, okay, and they can see what is happening there. So it's nice, it's really helpful. And the other thing is about the word count. Here the word count in general, it says that this document has 3 pages, and you know, the number of words and characters, and this is good. And also if you want just to count this paragraph, for example, you have to do the same, and then you will see that, okay, pages 1 of 3, and then the words are 86 over 137 words, and the characters and everything. So it's really helpful as well. And in tools also, we have this voice typing. I'm going to use this voice typing, but let me put here, for example, and then tools, voice typing. And here you have the language. You can choose the language, and this is going to be in English. Okay, so you have to click to speak. For example, I'm going to click, and I'm going to say the following. Hello, my name is Carlos, and this is my presentation. Okay, you just click on this and then you stop it. You can add a period here to make everything beautiful, and then you have, okay, obviously sometimes you have some mistake. I mean, not you, but when the voice recorder is recording, so you have just to make those things. But as you can see here, is very useful if you want just to record your voice. Okay. And here it has domain help, but almost the same. So those are the most important features, I think, of Google Docs. And in the next video, I'm going to give you some examples of how to use these features with your students and how to help them to perform their authentic task in the best way. Okay, in this part, I will point out two significant tools that Google Docs provides for teaching writing purposes. And also, I will share with you some real examples and easy examples that you can use Google Docs with your students and from different levels. The first feature is about sharing. Here you have this option, and this is one of the most important thing about Google Docs for collaborative work, because you can share this document with your students or with the people that you are working. And here, for example, I'm going to add my sister, and as you can see here, you can notify the people or the person you are sending the document. You can write a message there, and here even you can provide some roles for these people, like they can be just the viewer of the document, they can comment, or even they can edit the document. So then you send it, and when you send it, the other person will receive an email, and here actually we have the person at, and also here we have that this document is shared with one person. And the second feature is about inserting comments, okay, to provide feedback to our students. And here, for example, let's see that we don't want the students to write SS, but they have to write as students, okay? So you can add a comment, and then you can see like, please write, please write a student, okay? Okay, and then you can comment. Your student will see that part, and then they just decide if they want to change or not, to make these changes or not. The other thing that I want to talk about is some examples about how to use Google Docs for writing purposes. The first activity that I did, and you can do with your students at the beginning of the school year, is introducing myself. Here you can just share this document, and your students can start just writing about their likes and dislikes, and just putting here, just writing down some personal information. Okay. The second activity is my vacation days. Here students have to write a document talking about what they did in the last vacation they had. And actually, as you can see here, this student is very creative, and this is a really beautiful presentation, because even he just put some pictures and everything. So I think this is so cool. The third one is more academic, and the International Baccalaureate program. Our students have to do this written assignment part, and this student, for example, talk about the difference between the Pillaro de Hablada festival in Ecuador and the Ghost festival in China. So here, as you can see, Google Docs is telling her that she has probably some mistakes, but those are mostly Ecuadorian words, so it's not a problem there. So the student just can check it. And also we help our students just providing some feedback here. This is my feedback, and the other teacher provided another feedback. So it's like is a pretty useful application, I think, Google Docs. And the third one, if you are, and the fourth one, sorry, if you're working with your colleagues, let's see, for example, here they have to do a lesson plan, And if you have to do that, you can share the document and you can start like sharing ideas and putting down ideas and just doing something like that. You have the objective, assessment, time, and level activities. And also, we just put some resources that we can use while our students are learning. Okay, so as I said, Google Docs can be used for writing purposes to increase collaborative writing skills, and also we can use with our colleagues to perform some activities. Regarding using Google Docs for authentic learning, I want to mention that I've applied Google Docs during the last years to develop students' collaborative and writing skills by performing authentic and meaningful tasks, as well as by developing final projects based on the topic they were learning. The definition of authentic learning is that it is a term that describes learning through applying knowledge in real life contexts. Authentic learning has different features. The first one is that it focuses on real world complex problems and their solutions. Actually, when we are planning these final projects that the student has to present, we have really to take into account that the content has to be contextualized. Also, using role playing exercises that mimics the work of professionals. Here we can give students some roles, like they can be like the journalist or they can be the editor of a magazine. So those roles will be applied in the final project. Also, the problem-based activities that involves presentations of findings to audience beyond classrooms. It means that this project has to be done in a way that students not only present these final projects to their classmates or teachers, but also to the community. Here, the participation of students in these virtual communities of practice help them to engage in discourse and social learning, and also this authentic learning helps students to direct their own learning in project work. To do this planning of these kind of activities, I prefer using the backward design approach because this instructional design helped me first to identify the desired results I want to achieve from my students at the end of the unit of course. These desired results are based on the goals and English standards the students have to reach at the end of the course according to their English level. Then, as a second phase, I determined the how I will evaluate my students' knowledge and understanding of the topic by determining acceptable evidence. And finally, I start planning the experiences and instructions that my students will have during the whole unit by creating activities, materials, and resources that will equip students to accomplish their goals. To explain you better about this authentic learning, I will provide an example that I applied with my students last year. So it was a final project related to the lesson tourism. So as you can see here, it has the goal, the role, the audience, situation, performance, and the standards that I will explain you better through this presentation. So here we have the goal. The goal of this final project or performance task was to promote touristic places to the correct audience purpose. The role of my students, they were tourist advisors. The audience was students from an English university. And here this is something really important about providing the situation. So the situation was that a class from Cambridge University is planning a trip to Ecuador. So they asked for information about the most important places that can visit in 2 weeks and why. The performance things that our students have to do is that they have to work on a promotional blog to promote the best 3 touristic places in Ecuador. Also, they have to provide the exact schedule describing the activities they will do and the needed budget for this trip. Finally, and it is related to standards, please, it's very important when you are asking students to do some performance tasks or some activities to provide them a rubric, so then they will have a general and clear idea about what you are asking to them to do. And these standards in this case was the information is clear and evident, the text is grammatically correct, the text has a hook to draw tourist attention, and the text is organized and follow the book template. Okay, so in order to accomplish this, I prepared some activities, and these activities were the length of the lesson were 10 days, and the activities, as you can see here, we started just like identifying vocabulary and places in Ecuador, and then we started with how to write a blog and everything, and they did some tables, and we did different activities. Okay, that at the end they had this, actually they used Google Docs to do this, because I asked them to do in groups. Like here you can see like Maya and Noelia, they did this activity. Okay, and after that, in order to help them to collaborate and to share and provide authentic feedback, I asked them to share the groups of each project, and to share the links. For example, group number 1 to group number 2, and group number 2 to group number 3, and group number 7 to group number 1. So then they share the links and then provide some feedback and comments by using Google Docs. And finally, here I'm going to show you some final projects that my students presented. So they did this about Quilotoa. This is a mountain in Ecuador, and they put these pictures, the name of them, and then as you can see here, it's so really well done. So I really like it, and that's why I'm showing you. But I think most of the groups did the same job. I mean, that with the really good jobs. Here we have about Chocolatera. So it was done by Talia, Patricia, and Kevin, for example. And then you have this Chocolatera. You have the location, the weather, and as you can see, it's really good job for them. We have the food they can use and everything. And the last one is about Mindo. As you can see here as well, you have different information, and actually students follow the parameters that we have in the rubrics. And actually here I wanted to put this because actually here we have that one student was like providing feedback to them. So this is one of the most important things that I think about Google Docs, and how you can help students to collaborate and to provide different feedback and authentic feedback to improve their writing skills. To finish this presentation, I would love to point out some conclusions. The first one is that Google Docs provides various benefits for EFL and ESL teachers and students. Also, it's a powerful tech tool that we can use for writing purposes. Google Docs help teachers to provide students an authentic learning, and also it helps teachers and also students to provide authentic feedback. And by performing this task and conducting this authentic learning, students can improve their writing and critical thinking skills. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation, so I hope you enjoy it. And if you have some suggestions, recommendations, or even questions, just contact me, please. I'm going to write my email at the end of this presentation. Please take care and stay safe.